So next, input test data. So all this belongs to this particular test case. Okay, resetting password. So what input data you are using for this test case, you have to write it here. Okay, so if you don't write it here, now you have asked someone or asked your client for a user to reset password. So he has successfully given user ID password and you checked it. So tomorrow after next release or after 2-3 months, if people want to execute this test case, they will not have that data. Okay, they cannot go ahead and ask the client every time regarding the test case data. So once you get the data, place the data here in test case. So tomorrow if someone wants to run this test case, they'll go back and take this data, and with this data they will log in and perform this operation. Okay, so test data you have to write for each test case, so that you can people whoever working next time can access this test data and can perform the operation. Just like what I said, if for credit card payment you need an account with credit card who have credit card access. So you have searched and finally you got one account. It's in your mind and you tested that at that particular moment, and tomorrow after 3 days if you want to test, you don't remember that. But if you place it here in this case, if you come back anytime, you can just take this data and start testing. So this is one of the most important feature, and it is recommended to write test data in your test case. Okay, so here we can say user ID rahulonline, password testing. Okay, give this information so that people will access this whenever they want to run this test case. Okay, now this is the most important. We need to discuss how to write your execution steps. Okay, now we should start thinking of writing test case. So till now we have used these parameters like requirement ID, description, what are preconditions, what are the test data you need to use, test case name. So these are different fields which will help you to identify test case uniquely. Now write your test case steps. Right, let's start it. What is the format actually to write a test execution steps? Okay, so format is such a way that expected result, or you can say action, what you do, expected result, actual result. But in general people this is a good practice to write a test case, but people might follow and may not follow of writing a test case. They can do in their own way, but follow this format wherever you work or wherever you do, then it will get really impressed by your superiors. Okay, right, so action first. What is the step 1 you need to do here? Login into application, right? Login into, or let me write it here, action step 1. This is first step. Login into Facebook application with valid credentials. Okay, what is expected? Facebook homepage should be displayed. Right, this is our step 1. Actual not required. You can just mark it as pass or something. If those matches, you can just say test status pass. Okay, so it's now current system is moving fast and people are turning to agile, so they don't want to spend much on test case design. So you have to move simple and pretty straightforward. What is the action you are performing and what is you are expecting? This is how you write test case. Tomorrow when you run, I have performed this action, you will check okay, and you got one result there, and you see expected Facebook homepage is displaying, and you see in your application, is that expected matching with actual what I got in the system? If those matches, you say status as pass for the step 1 or fail status. You have to mention status for each step. Okay. Now you say if it checks pass, then you can write pass. Step 2. Again I am telling, and this specific format will be followed in industry standards. Okay, but it's up to their project and how they design test case, but concept will remain same. They might have a tool where they have expected field, action field, result field. You might go and enter there, or you might be asked to write an Excel sheet if they don't use any tools, or if they don't want to write, they don't want to time waste in designing test cases, they ask you to write in a single line, verify, check the password. It all depends again your project, but this is the industry standard how you design test case in your big projects. Okay, and if they ask you, if they left you to design a test case, follow this format and you will really rock in designing as well as executing, and you can show your mark at your workplace. Okay, so step 2. So once you log in into your application, you need to click on settings, right? Yeah. Click on settings from top, something like menu bar. This is action. Let me highlight this. What will be the expected? After clicking, the expected is general account settings tab should be displayed. Page. Right, step 2 is done. And now you need to click on edit of this password field. Action. So write in layman terms that tomorrow if you are out of this project, if someone comes in, even they should be able to understand your test case description and they should be able to run those in their application. Okay, we should write in very layman terms, in very simple language rather than making it complicated. So that means a novice user also should be able to read the test case and can start testing the application. Okay, click on edit link in the password field. Okay, so password field should be expanded with the fields displayed. Password expanded with the required fields, you can say. You need not mention all those, you can say what are required. Okay, right, now starts actual testing. So till now we just navigated there, this test case did not start yet. Okay, we have written navigation steps, so finally you landed here, and now you have to decide how you are going to test this to make sure that this password change application is working as expected. But remember, as a QA tester, our mindset should be in such a way that we should break it. Okay, now let us see how can we write broadly broadly kind of test cases to break this application. Okay, that we'll see in our next lecture. Thank you.